Hey yo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction and review for 12 Beasts Chapter 21. And this one, I'm not sure how strong the translation will be or if it'll mess up any. Because I know the last chapter we did, or not the last one, but the one before last one, I think maybe, there was like 1 or 2 pages. I went back and said something on Twitter, and I may have said something in the Haku&A as well, where there were 2 pages missing, and then I read those 2 extra pages once they put them up, and it made some things make a little bit more sense and flow a little bit better, but we didn't miss anything really important there. So yeah, hopefully this isn't missing any pages. This one says it is 37 pages long, so much longer than last chapter. Back to what we've had in the past a few times. And yeah, so hopefully it's good, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because it just went up like a couple hours ago. So it's very, very new. So hopefully all the kinks are worked out already and it isn't missing any pages. We see the cover, and it's actually a game screen. 12 Beasts, the World War series, the continuation war. The 8th game of the wildly popular The World War series, made as a sequel to the previous Winter War installment. It featured both Finland and Russia as playable factions. Its unforgiving difficulty vexed many players and gave the game such a brutal reputation that it ended up hurting sales. Alright. The enemy's numbers keep increasing. What is Ada's plan? And we see a military convoy headed up the side of one of the mountains. The road's all icy and everything. Damn, this is dangerous. Why do we need to pass through here? Says one of the soldiers. We can't help it. Because of the woods, this is the only road we can take. You can't even call this a road. Besides... Fuck, another collapsed ice ridge, huh? We can't proceed like this. There's a rumor that the frontline supply base collapsed and was wiped out. That's why we were ordered to go make a new base. If these ice pillars are man-made, then there's nothing we can do about it. Just leave them to the Gigas. Hey truck, move back. Is here okay? A Gigas, huh? He eats all the supply base's food, but... So Gigases do eat food. Interesting again. Sorry, just checking my recording. We are all good. Interesting, and this Gigas looks a bit different than the others we've seen. Oh, it looks like he sends a blast towards the ice pillars. If we have that, the werewolves aren't even a threat. In exchange for making the supply base, we'll work him hard. We won't even need to fight. We can skip weapon maintenance. I'm going to go drink. And then we see, it looks like Ada and the werewolves looking on from the bushes. And a tree collapses down at them. That was close. What was that, a fallen tree? Hey, I can't drive with this in the way. And then they hear somebody screaming, Wah! What? Even behind us, there are trees falling. Is the ground that weak? What the hell is going good? And then he gets hit in the head, and we see the werewolves rushing them and knocking them all out. It's the werewolves. The werewolves are attacking. Wah 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 wah! Don't come any closer. And we see Flake charging at them and taking a bunch of them down. This damn dog. Wah! Don't shoot at us, you retard! Says the soldiers on the other side of Flake while the guy's pointing the gun. Die! Ouch! Stop! You're shooting us! You fucking moron, are you trying to kill us? Fuck, my leg! Stop shooting us, dumbass! That fucking, because we see, Flake dodged out of the way on top of one of the trucks. That fucking, and then, one of the soldiers pulls out a grenade. And then, one of, Ada's kunai knocks the pin out of the grenade. And the, truck explodes. So Ada did just kill that guy. Ada has no qualms about killing, it would seem. The werewolves, they're aiming for the truck. What the hell are they thinking? And we see Ada placing a stick of dynamite on top of the front of the truck. Haga, that fucking asshole, he destroyed all the trucks. We can't win against werewolves. And we see Ada running away from the exploding trucks. And then the Gigas. That, again, these amazing panels, and like Okiato keeps doing these panels where it's like the Gigas or some big bad enemy with like the silhouettes in front. And I love whenever he does that. It looks so good. It's the Gigas. He returned. With this, the werewolves aren't anything, says the soldiers. Go get them. Yelp, fucking dogs. And the werewolves look back to Ada. "All right, everyone retreat," he says, and they all run back into the woods, leaving the injured soldiers with the Gigas. "They fucking ran with their tails between their legs. They can't even touch our Gigas. Serves you right, fucking dogs." And then they're all laughing. And they get quiet and look at all the destroyed trucks. "So, what do we do?" "Oh, look!" And we see all the werewolves looking from the bushes. And hello, that one werewolf looks pretty waifu. And the one beside her's pretty nice looking too. The enemy, the Gigas, is going back, with the soldiers on his back. We repelled the Gigas, and the Gigas is just carrying all the soldiers on top of him. Besides, there's a lot of goods up in the mountains now, and all the werewolves are cheering. "However, it's really impressive, this tactic. What was it called?" says the chieftain. Assailant's first half, I guess," says Ada. And then we have a flashback to them planning. "The enemy's stronger than us, and their numbers are also superior," says Ada. "However, we have the positional advantage, and moreover, without the Gigas, we're way stronger. In this situation, the salient is the most effective tactic. During the Continuation War, Finland went to war with the USSR despite its inferior numbers." "What kind of tactic is that?" says one of the two waifu-looking werewolves. "Due to the terrain, the enemy's lines will be spread thin at times. So our first step is to cut their supply line. Then we ambush the isolated enemy, encircling them and attacking from all sides. Even more so in this situation, I think it's the perfect strategy." "But the enemies have a Gigas," says I think the one that I said was really waifu-looking. "Besides, with our numbers, there's no way we can encircle the enemy, is there? I'll just need to arrange a couple things," says Ada. "First, we need to separate the army from the Gigas. It's enough to buy some time before they can reunite. Then, we steal the vehicles. If things go well, we might even be able to snatch away some supplies. Then, even if you hurt the enemy, don't kill them. If you do that, the enemy will have to retreat. At that time, the Gigas should be returning. You should use this game to study details. I'll lend it to you," he says, holding up his game. And then we see all of the werewolves playing the game. "What's this? A game from the other world? Hey, let me try." "I see. That's something to practice war tactics. I thought it was only a toy," says the chieftain, looking at all the other werewolves playing it. "Hey Ninja, lend me that game again," says the one waifu werewolf with the long bangs. "It's fine, isn't it? It's not something that decays with use," says the other waifu werewolf. "He's really impressive. I couldn't think of him as anything but a useless human at the beginning, but to retreat without raising a single finger to the Gigas, that's not something we could do," thinks Flake, looking on. Alright, now I'll really go out there and say something to really motivate them and take a step towards becoming their friend. Oi, don't get cocky. Being careless could get you killed. Don't let your success thus far get to your head. I freaking love Flake. She is the best freaking character. And then she turns around and punches a wall. "I wanted them to be careful, but why am I?" And then the long, banged werewolf. "That Flake has been acting up recently. Did I do something to piss her off?" says Ada. "She's just mad that we have to work together since she's a lone wolf," says the other one. And then we see Arrow carrying a bag, and she notices a glint of light across the way on one of the ridges. "Was that?" "What's wrong?" says the chieftain. "Ah, nothing. I just saw something shining in the woods over there." "Over there? At this distance and with this wind, I can't smell anything." "No, I think I was just imagining. Even if there was something, at this distance, it's not." I love this arc so much. Just all the different characters and the interactions. Just so far is so good. Even now, I think I'm already starting to like it. Possibly better than the fish, like Merfolk Town arc, but I really loved that, mostly because the fisherman was a really, really good villain. And then we see a blast coming from over in the trees on the other ridge that Arrow saw. We get reactions from Arrow and the chieftain. What was that? A laser, says Ada and the two waifu wolves. "This is bad. There's a crack in the ice ridge. If it stays this way, it'll collapse," says the chieftain. "Everyone, get away from the ledge," and they all start running from the collapsing ledge. Ada falls in. Wah, what the fuck are you doing? Says Flake, pulling him out. Ah, sorry. Flake, behind you, he says, pointing, and Flake looks back. Ah? And then one of the trucks is falling towards them, and it hits Ada and Flake. Arrow screams for them, and they start falling off the cliff. Ada-san, Flake-san, she says, towards the edge of the cliff. Don't worry, Harpy girl. If it's the ninja and Flake, I'm sure they'll be fine, says the chieftain, walking up behind her. There's probably a snowstorm down there, but... I know, it's not that, says Arrow. What is it, says the chieftain. How should I say it? He's all alone with Flake, so will Ada-san be fine, I wonder? She says. Oh my gosh. Freaking Arrow. Jealous little Harpy. And then we see them starting a fire in a cave, chilling down there. Awkward, Ada thinks, just sitting there quietly. Outside is a blizzard. It's good that we were able to find shelter in a cave, but being together with Flake looks like she hates me. I can't bring myself to speak. In the first place, I'm stranded alone with a girl in a snowy mountain. There's too much tension, he says, sweating. Oh geez, this is what happened last week. It's the same page repeated twice, and I'm scared that means that there's going to be a missing page in there somewhere. Yeah, it's the same page repeated twice. So, hopefully there isn't a missing page there, but if there is, I'll just bring it up next time, or bring it up in the Haku or something like that. Says Ada, and then Flake looks up at him. Oh my gosh, I love Flake so much. Alright, is he going to say something, she thinks? Let's do a quick conversation simulation. And we have another one of Flake's cartoons. What should we do? Says Ada in the first one. First, we need to wait for the snowstorm to end, then we'll return to the village, she responds. Then her second option, he says, I'm cold. And she says, Ura, get closer to the fire. I also took some food from the enemies. Let's eat this to warm up. And then the third option, I wonder if we'll manage to return safely. What are you being all scared for, she says. I'm here, so we'll be fine. There, with these three conversation patterns, I have the outline, so I shouldn't have any problems. Now go ahead, speak, she thinks. Aren't you cold with those clothes on, he says. No. She responds with no. And he looks away. That's right. Ha ha. Her face. That's wrong. Why did you say that now? You could have said that before. Wait, I'm the one making it hard to speak in the first place. I'm a bit cold. And she's like, that's it. Pattern 2. Then get closer. There's also food, so eat this and warm up, she says. Oh, okay then, he says. There. Perfect, she thinks. I managed to create a flow of events. Now, let's simulate the next. And they're both just sitting there quietly eating, looking away from each other. Not there. Why are you right next to me, she says. I did tell you to get closer, but I was talking about the fire. That's normally what that would refer to, right? Was the closer perhaps referring to the fire, Ada thinks? Being stranded in a snowy mountain and being close to share body heat because of my delusions, I was sure. I love how they're both just thinking about everything. This is so well thought out. This is what I like. I just really love about the writing here. Okayato had to think this out so far to make a scene like this. And you don't see scenes like this that often because this took so much thinking out. I really respect this scene right now. I should go back there. What are you talking about, retard? Says Flake. It's fine, over there. In fact, get even closer. If I get any closer than this. And then Flake is sitting in his lap. How did it become like this? Both of them are thinking. Is this bad? You really are warm, he says. Do all werewolves have high body temperatures? And then he's like, I knew it. Speaking without thinking only makes things worse. And Flake's thinking, calm down. Or I think that was Flake thinking, calm down. At times like this, I need to simulate conversations to make this situation better. Then, option 1, let him touch me. It's warmer if you touch me, she says. Option 2, strip. Let's heat up naked. And then he's in the background like, eh. Option 3, strip him. Ora, strip 2. Kya, he says, screaming. And then she gets a nosebleed. Calm down, she's thinking. Stop, I'm thinking weird things, so my nose is... And then she sees blood and looks back, and his nose is bleeding too. And she's like, well, you too. You fucker, you're thinking lewd thoughts, aren't you? She says out loud. What do you want to do after hugging people? You're wrong, he said. I was only thinking about survival. You guessed I was having lewd thoughts. So, weren't you having lewd thoughts as well? She says, fuck no, only about having my body touched. Should I touch it if you're so inclined? He says, what the hell am I saying? She's thinking. No, not now. I'm just going to take back. He thinks, you said it, didn't you? No taking that back now. Then she thinks, a fucking course. Go ahead and grasp it. Stop being hesitant and effeminate, faggot. Yeah, right, freaking Flake is the best character. I'm going to touch it. I'll really touch it, he says. Do it, she says. Fuck, how does it become like this every time, she thinks. Is it payback for the shit I say? If I don't simulate, I can't talk properly. Why am I like this, she thinks. And then he walks towards her. Isn't Flake acting way different than normal, he thinks? At this time, she doesn't really feel like a lone wolf. Flake is the best character. 1000%. Top waifu, best character in the series. I really liked Fisherman and Ada and Asterio, and I really liked Joea before she left, but Flake just blows them out of the water. She is just such a well thought out character. Like having a lone wolf be socially awkward. I love this so much, especially with more Flake here. This is, if I should guess, he thinks. Flake, are you perhaps? He said. And then they hear a crash and both look around. A roar. What was that roar just now? Was there something hibernating in this cave? No, she says. There are no traces of living things in here. Even if something was hibernating, in the surface, in grass-covered ground, the broken ice should turn into icicles with its body temperature. Hold on, what? Even if something was hibernating, in the surface, in grass-covered ground, the broken ice should turn into icicles with its body temperature. Okay, think I got it. Yeah, makes sense. But in this cave, she says, in this cave, what's with this surface? It looks like something had shaved the rock. Oh my god, what if it is the freaking Gigas in the cave with him? Huh? He says, looking around with the torch. No, you're wrong, he says, smiling nervously. This cave itself was shaved and made by something. The mysterious light shines in the deep of the cave. What is its source? I'm guessing a Gigas, or maybe headlights from another truck. Maybe there is maybe there's more human soldiers in there. Okay, so let's go through this. This is a 10 out of 10. This could have possibly been the best chapter so far. Just the conversation and the thought that had to be put into writing that is incredible to me. The thought that had to be put into writing that scene in the cave is beyond what I've seen in other manga. Like, that had to take so much work. Oh my gosh. I love this chapter. This is my favorite chapter so far, quite possibly. And you guys know I love just about every chapter in that Fishman arc, but this, or the Merfolk arc, so good. Okay, going back through, we have the first assault against the humans. The art was really, really good. I like the fighting quite a bit, actually. There's a lot of good images I'm seeing just flipping back through this. There are so many good pages. Like, I love the fighting. I love the use of silhouettes and the depth. The depth is really good. And that's something somebody else, I showed some panels from 12 Beast. It's somebody that goes to art school, and they're like, the depth that Okayato uses here is just incredible. Like, the use of the shading and depth is really good. And I agree, this is the series, in my opinion, with the best art in all of manga. And it is so weird to say such a new and small series has the best art, but this art is incredible to me. And I love, it's not ultra realistic, but it's so detailed, and I love the character designs as well. I love the scene too, where Ada throws the kunai and knocks the pin out of the grenade. I really like that one. Or when he sets the dynamite on the truck and runs away. That's a good one too. I also like these two characters that we're seeing a lot here. The like twin female werewolves that are always together. The one with the short hair that's pretty smexy, and the one with the long bangs I like as well. And then they retreat, and I think it's really cool to show the strategy and the strategy afterward, but I'll get to that. Before that, I love the way we actually see the it was one of the funniest parts for me where there were a lot of funny parts, but where the humans are like, yeah, they retreated, screw them, and then they look back and all their trucks are destroyed, and they're like, oh yeah, what now? So I love that. I freaking love these werewolf designs. I love the chieftain dude, and even the male werewolves look really cool. I love these designs so much. So the Gigas runs away, and really just what I enjoy a lot with this is when we see Ada actually planning everything out, and when he lets the werewolves borrow his game simulation. It's really funny too. And a character that I'm really enjoying this arc is the chieftain. I loved all the stuff we got with the chieftain. This chapter we got a lot with the chieftain as well, and I'm liking that. I love when Flake first tried to speak to Ada. That was one of my favorite scenes here. And Ada and the two other werewolves are just misunderstanding her. It's so freaking good. All the stuff with Arrow and the Chieftain, I mentioned that I like the Chieftain scenes, but I thought Arrow and the Chieftain had a really good conversational dynamic there as like somebody who knows Ada and somebody who knows Flake. I really like that. Of course, the place collapsing, the art looks really nice, but the art pretty much always looks incredible. So more good stuff between Arrow and the Chieftain. I like that we have those two characters with each other. And then the campfire scene. This may be one of the better scenes in manga that I've seen when it comes to just thought and conversation. This is so freaking strong. And Flake is just the best character. The best character. So I love all of her conversational patterns. It was hilarious. Then the actual conversation was funny. They get closer to each other, and she ends up sitting in his lap. And man, if only I could have a Flake Sama for myself. Flake Sama the best girl. Best girl by far. Her second set, her lewd thoughts were hilarious, just to show that instead of the normal guy being a perv about her, she's actually thinking about the lewd stuff, but she doesn't know how to really talk about her feelings. And then just sexiness. Very much sexiness coming from Flake. And I like that her argument with Ada is just, again, really well written, where they're both just like, they can't really convey their feelings, and it's really cool. And I like as well where they mention the cave, and like, again, a lot of thought for Flake to have been like, no, there'd be icicles in here because of the body heat from something hibernating in here if there was anything in here. And then Ada noticing. And I love another thing with the series as a whole I'm bringing up, I love the use of facial expressions. A lot of them are very realistic and very good at portraying things that I think other manga kind of half-ass. So really good facial just expressions and stuff are used in this series that I think add to the art a lot as well. Finding out that the cave was actually shaped by something that, again, I'm thinking is probably a Gigas or the human soldiers, or likely the human soldiers with a Gigas. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where we get to next time with Flake and Ada, because this was so freaking good. I'm really excited to see where we get to next time. It's going to be a bitch waiting for chapters. Because like I said, I think this comes out every 2 months, and that is a long time to wait once we're caught up to, once these current translators, and thank you to them once again for translating. But once they catch up, then having to wait is going to be a bitch. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this one. This was a 10 out of 10. This is one of the better chapters in manga, period, that I've read. And you guys should know I don't like romance typically. I usually cannot stand romance, but this was an incredibly written chapter. So yeah, 10 out of 10. like if you did like this video. Comment down there and tell me what you thought of my thoughts of this chapter and what you thought of this chapter, because I hope you guys were as just engrossed by this as I was. This was fun to read. Subscribe for much more 12 Beast. I am not giving this series up at this point. I have fallen in love with this series, honestly. I almost wish, I wish it could get more recognition for sure, but I wish as well, like, that I don't know. I don't want Okiato to focus solely on that because I want more Monmusu as well. It is so hard to live knowing that I can only get these chapters once every 2 months or Monmusu every month because one guy is writing 2 of my favorite manga. And that's a lot of work on Okiato, and mad respect to him for that. So I got way off topic. Sub and follow on Twitter if you want. And I'll try to keep you updated on Twitter for like stuff that I post or push back or anything else. And that's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.